Hello everybody, welcome back to Max Reviews, and today we will be ranking all 10 Book of Boba Fett characters from the worst to the best. I'm Braden, this is Max Reviews, and one of my big criticisms of Book of Boba Fett, if you will, is the characters and how they were not fleshed out enough. And so I decided to do this video to elaborate on that and also just to rank them. It'd be something nice to do. So, with that said, this is Max Reviews, I'm Braden. And coming in 10th place here is going to be the Pike Syndicate, or the Pikes in this movie, because if you really actually think about it, the Pikes are the main villains, which doesn't make any sense because the Pikes, they don't really have a personality. They're not super sinister or anything. You don't feel freaked out by them, and you don't feel like there's any danger coming from them. Sure, they might have killed a few Gamorrean guards. Sure, they might have shot a few people, but they are not a huge threat, in my mind. I don't think they're the huge threat. And even the leader of the Pikes, in episode 7, when this, General Pike came out and confronted, Boba Fett and everybody when they were all cornered, I thought that was the leader Pike, but I guess it wasn't because that guy got killed, and then the actual leader Pike got killed by Fennick Shand, but it's impossible to tell them apart. The leader, he doesn't even have a name. And I was hoping maybe we would get some sort of twist reveal saying that there's this big bad, somewhere mid-season, like Quiera from Solo Star Wars Story, or some person more distinguishable than just a Pike, anything defining. But no, it's just a bunch of Pikes. It did not work. And I'm going to say I'm not including all the characters. There's some here that I'm including, some that I'm not. I just chose by what I thought, how much they were included. And I wasn't even going to include the Pikes, but they're the main villains. They don't even feel like they are horrible in this. They're like stormtroopers, but worse. They're less memorable. They're not distinguishable from one another. And they're just really, really bad villains. And that was one of the big problems of the show, because they didn't give us good villains. That was the main problem. They just messed it all up with the execution. Anyway, 9th place here is going to be the cyborg people. That's what I'm going to call them. They don't have any names or anything. They haven't been given any names. No really defining characteristics except for, their robot parts. I don't really like them. They don't really have a bunch going on with them. They're not extremely interesting. And at the end of episode 7, Boba Fett sort of nods to him like, hey, you guys might be taking over now. I'm not fit to rule this. Maybe you guys can. And I was just like, what? You're going to leave these people who don't even have a name in Star Wars yet to take your place that you've been working for this entire time. It's just weird. I didn't like their episode. If you saw my ranking of the episodes yesterday, I think it came out maybe. Then you know that the episode where they were introduced was my least favorite episode. I just don't like them. They don't work. The cyborg thing could be used interestingly, but they don't use it for anything specific. It's just they're Star Wars people, teenagers that just got, advancements, but you don't really see those advancements at use. Anyway, 8th place here, we have the most disappointing character, Fennick Shand. Because Fennick Shand she was the second main character in the show. There's Boba Fett, and then there's Fennick Shand, his right-hand partner, woman, friend, whatever. And she's resourceful, she could take people out, but she has no character development, no arc. She's just there next to Boba Fett. You don't really know why she's still working for him. She has loyalty, but you don't know why she's loyal to him. He saved her life, but still, that isn't a life debt. So she was really disappointing. You could have done so much with her. You could have given her a backstory, maybe with the Pikes, and given them more fleshed out so it was even more personal when she killed them. And Boba Fett doesn't even kill the villain. She does. And it's just I'm thinking, is she going to be, taking over the villain stuff and then going against Boba Fett? Is she going to turn evil? Is that going to be interesting? No. And so just everything that they did with her just did not work. And I thought there had so much potential with her, and it didn't pan out. It didn't work. I don't know what they were thinking with even including, she should be included. She was in The Mandalorian in it, so that makes sense. But She does nothing. She explains stuff. She's boring. No character development. And as a character, if you had to name one defining trait about her, you couldn't. About her actual personality, you can't name a trait about her. She has no personality, which really sucks because she had so much potential. And 7th place, we have the Tuscan Raiders from the first three episodes. Where episode 1, I liked them. It was cool to see them. Episode 2, liked them even more. Great to see them. You were thinking, like, there's going to be maybe a rebellion, and maybe they could come back and help them with the Hutts and stuff, or whatever is the problem, or the Pikes, maybe. And then they're killed off in episode 3. And if they had come back, they might move up, like, 2 or 3 spots up this list. But they didn't come back. They were scrapped. They were gone. They were killed off. And it just felt so like we were actually getting somewhere. You actually cared about them, and then they died. And so that was just so frustrating to me again. That was another problem. Like, what? The entire thing with Boba Fett is he is looking for an army. And he had an army, and then they got slaughtered. So I don't know why they got rid of the Tuscans. There was no big reason to. Maybe to make it personal, but that did not work for the Pikes. So you just have these characters that you actually cared about for a bit, and then they died. So that's why they're lower. I still really think that there was so much potential here with the Book of Boba Fett, with the Tuscans, with the Pikes, with the Cyborgs, with Fennick Shand. These were all failed opportunities, and I just feel really bad about it. And 6th place, I decided to include her since she's in a bit bigger of a character. Pelimoto, sort of like the comic relief character here, who... she's got the droid. She's fun. You might be angry. I'm not going to be including, like, the Gamorrean guards or anything like that, or the Twekel guy. I'm just going to include her because she seems like a more main character, more like a character. She actually has defining traits and stuff to her, and I just thought I'd add her in here. She seems to play a bit bigger of a character and as a person in this show than she did in The Mandalorian, which is nice. She's a fun character to see on screen whenever she's on. Have a ton of fun with her and her droids. But still, she doesn't have anything big, and sort of frustrating that this, like, side character is bigger than the actual villains and main characters of the show. And now 5th place, we have Black Chrysanthemum. A character that when I first saw this character, I lost my mind. It was just, he's from the comics. I've been reading the Darth Vader and Dr. Alpha comics for, I would say, 2 years now. And seeing him on screen, it was just like, yes, he's so awesome. And then you see him, episode 4, he gets to, like, fight Boba Fett. And then he doesn't really have anything after that. He doesn't really talk a whole bunch. Well, Chewie doesn't talk either, Chewbacca, but he doesn't have big things going on with him. He's sort of like the muscle of the group, and then he just got sidelined after episode 4, and he doesn't really do anything. So he's a cool character to watch. He's fun sometimes to see, and he's just a hulking, and he looks cool, but he doesn't have much of a character. He doesn't like, Transoceans, I don't know what they're called, but anyway, he was another failed opportunity that he could have done something. I hope we see more of him and he's fleshed out more, because he's such a great character in the comics and stuff. Like, he is a big threat, but he is also he doesn't have much of a character in the comics either, so I guess it was okay to see him here. And 4th place here, unfortunately, is going to be Boba Fett, who got sidelined in the final 3 episodes of his own show. And then you see him being sort of like he's getting this family and stuff. And then for Mos Eisley, when he's trying to take it over, you don't know why he's interested in this, because his family's gone. Maybe he feels connected to the desert, but I feel like he was so much better and cooler when you didn't actually go into his backstory and everything, because it doesn't work as well. I guess it just doesn't work, because Mandalorian, you could have just come up with stuff. Here you have to add all this filler in with him. He's the main character. It's the Book of Boba Fett, and he's not even top 3 characters, which sucks. He doesn't have much character. He has no character arc. He has some development, but it all happens in the past. And even when the villains get killed, he doesn't kill them. Fennick Shand kills the villains. So it doesn't have anything personal to it. He's there, but he doesn't do much. So it just feels... I feel really disappointed that this happened. I was looking forward to this show just a bit. Not a whole ton like I'm looking forward to the Acolyte or the Kenobi show or the Ahsoka show. But I was looking forward to this, and Boba Fett, such a great character to dive into is what I was saying. And then we dove into him, and there was nothing really there, which sucks. I feel really sad about it, but he's got to come in 4th place for me. He just did not work in his own show, unfortunately. And he could have, if they had fleshed out the stuff with the Tuscan Raiders just a bit more, you know, in those next episodes. Bring them back and see him just crying, seeing them, get him to be an actual person, see him crying for joy to see them, hugging them all together, and then fighting in one epic battle. That would have been the Boba Fett that I wanted to see. Him actually having this family that he is fighting for and defending, but he's not. He's defending these random people most likely. So if they had done that sort of thing with the Tuscans that I just described, that he would have been so much higher. The Tuscans would have been... I just think there's so much potential that if you had just handed me the script for this, I could have just fixed it up. It's very simple to fix this, and they couldn't. So that just sucks for me. So sad. But anyway, before we get into top 3, just leave your list down below. You could add in or subtract some characters like Pelimoto. You could get rid of her. Or if you want to add characters, maybe add characters like, what was his name? Cad Bane, because I didn't really include him that much. I just have my own standards, so do whatever you want in there. Rank the characters if you want. What did you think of them? And what was the biggest failed opportunity, do you think? There's so many failed opportunities. Mine would be the Tuscans and Boba Fett. That could have been so cool, but it didn't work, so... that was my biggest fail. But anyway, 3rd place here we have Cad Bane, who he showed up at the end of episode 6, and it was just like, this is awesome, this is cool, he is so awesome, wow. And then episode 7, he gets taken out by Boba Fett. He's imposing, he's threatening, and the Pikes, you don't care about the Pikes. Be honest. When you were watching this, the Pikes were not that threatening. Cad Bane, on the other hand, takes out Cad Bane, this character who's known for having this quick draw. Cad Bane just takes him out quick, and he almost kills Boba Fett. So he is hulking, he's imposing, and it was so great to see him, but I think they did him a pretty big disservice. And episode 7 was just like having him been taken out so quickly by Boba Fett after, like, it's a very quick battle. So I think that he's still alive 100%, and he should have been dived into more. I think I have my theories why he's not big into the Empire and Boba Fett and where he's been all this time. I'm thinking, yeah, this fallout with the Empire where maybe they betrayed him or he had a battle with Darth Vader. Something happened, and then he's just anti-Empire because he doesn't seem to like the Empire or Boba Fett for working for the Empire. So I think there's a bunch of potential still over there, but they didn't do it as well. They did it okay. He's cool to see, but not like he's better than the main character of the show, but still I think a bit of a fail. And 2nd place here is going to be Grogu or Baby Yoda. It's great to see him again, and in here he actually has choices where he has to choose the Jedi Order or going back to the Mandalorian. And I think he had a bit more character development in this show with having to choose between this and actually coming back to Mando. He's cute. He could do some cool Force stuff. It's nice to see him train with Luke. And I still care about him quite a bit even after Mandalorian. So it's always nice to see him on screen. Whenever he is, there's always an ooh or an ah. He's adorable, and it's just nice to see him on screen and have him do stuff. But coming in 1st place is going to be the Mandalorian. The character from the Mandalorian, I think he's the best character from the Mandalorian. And the best character in all these Star Wars shows, Din Djarin, who he is a character that you care about what he's doing with his Mandalore and Darksaber. You actually care about, and you care about him. But this is mostly from the Mandalorian is where I'm drawing this from. but he's still quite a bit better than Boba Fett in Boba Fett's own show, because you actually care about the Mandalorian. You see him doing this stuff, trying to restore Mandalore, and you're interested, how is he going to become a Mandalorian again? There's also some problems with him and Grogu just flying off, where entire Season 2 of The Mandalorian was him getting Grogu back to a Jedi, so that was a giant detour. I'm thinking that the producers or directors or writers or somebody is just like, oh, wow, Grogu is the main reason that people are getting to Disney Plus. We got to bring him back. Or Disney intervened and they're like, hey, fix this, guys. We can't get rid of him. He's got to come back. And then they just shuffled the script so that they're all added back in there. I don't know what they did, but it's great to see him back together, Mando. And Mando, I can't wait for Mandalorian Season 3. Well, I couldn't, and now I'm a bit concerned. So I was really looking forward to it. And then whenever they ended with Grogu, that with him coming back, it's just big implications. Season 3, I don't know what's going to go on. So it has me a bit less looking forward to it. But I still really think Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, is the best character in the Book of Boba Fett. Thanks for watching. Leave your list down below. It's been sort of nice composing all this Book of Boba Fett stuff. If it hasn't already come out yet, I'm going to be doing one final thing, a podcast with Hawbricks, so you could check that out sometime. I don't know, today, tomorrow, sometime soon. So anyway, that's my list. Thank you for watching. I'm Braden. This is Max Reviews. Braden out.